Right, guys, so our first fasting window starts tomorrow. So when we talk about intermittent fasting, we basically break it down into fasting windows and eating windows. So our first fasting window starts basically tonight. You should be aiming for roughly about 8 o'clock, roughly being about your last meal. Now, we don't have to be overly dogmatic about this, but, meaning it doesn't have to be, you're not synchronizing your watches, 8 o'clock, stop eating, but we want to be roughly around that. Because to be honest, if we take it past midnight, like, you just shorten that fast, and the whole objective here is the fast. All right, so roughly about 8 o'clock now. It's 7 o'clock now, so about 8 o'clock we want to make sure it's about our last meal. Having a wee chocolate biscuit and a cup of tea after that's not the end of the world, but you know what I mean. We want to try and make sure we're restricted from there. We're not going to eat now until 4 o'clock tomorrow. Sorry, 2 o'clock tomorrow. For those people who have done it before, it'll be 4 o'clock tomorrow. So remember, we're going to have different levels here. If you're a beginner, your eating window will start at 2 o'clock tomorrow. If you're sort of anywhere near intermediate, let's say, it's going to be 4 o'clock. Now, if you've done this regularly and you want to really give this hardcore, you can go now up to 6, right, for your first day. So that's going to give you a 2-hour eating window, but that's what you're going to be pretty much all week. Do you want that? Right? Yes, there is extra benefits of it, but do you really want that straight away? That's what you have to ask yourself. Because if I commit to this today, I have to stick to this. So my advice would be, even if you are well used to it a wee bit, pulling back a wee bit, just especially in the first day, it makes a wee bit of sense. All right? We can do it. It's not getting into sort of the realms of the metabolism is going to just switch off, but it's getting difficult, especially in the first day. So here's what we need to think about here. So for tomorrow morning, the apple cider vinegar, the salt, and the lemon juice. That's what we call your hydration drink. The key to fasting is to stay hydrated. Most people, when they feel hungry or when they feel tired, they think about food. It's not food, it's minerals, specifically sodium, salt. Now, not table salt. We're looking at things like Himalayan salt, sea salt, rock salt, that kind of thing. That's the minerals. Like, for example, Himalayan salt's got 82 minerals. Right? They keep your body hydrated. We'll go into the technicalities of how this works, what exactly is happening later on in the week. But just know, about 2 or 3 grains of salt, a cap full of apple cider vinegar, and just about half, 2 shot glasses worth of water. It's literally stir, squeeze a lemon, bang, down, done. We're not talking about having a wee sip. And I say this every time. People, it's only about an apple cider vinegar. You're not 5 years of age. Come on, you're a grown-up. Put on your big boy and big girl pants and just drink the fucking thing. It's really going to help you achieve excellent results. Right? Every time we do this, it's the crying and the moan. Oh, it's rot. No, it's disgusting. No, it's this. If there was tequila in it, you wouldn't be long as slamming it down, or a sambuca. Right? So try and just get it down. It's just a shot. Right? That's all it is. Your protein shake. Now, listen, people have been asking about the beef protein. The protein shake prior to the first meal, right, which is, so whenever your first meal is at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, half an hour before you break your fast, you will have 2 scoops of whey protein. Now, this is for 2 reasons. One is to make sure that we get adequate amount of protein during the fast, and again, we'll go into that in another video during the week. But it's also because the whey protein, because of the consistency of the whey, because of that milkshakey thing, because of the way the whey protein works, it really lines your stomach and really makes you feel full up. Because some people, whenever they start eating after a fast, can end up with a bit of a gorge mentality, especially if your first meal is carbohydrate based. It means you just feel like you just want to eat because you get this massive spike in blood sugar. It's very hard to switch it off. And we want the whole process to be enjoyable, even the eating phase to be enjoyable. Now listen, please listen carefully. What we're trying to do here is intermittent fasting is a form of calorie restrictions. So we have 3 forms of calorie restrictions that we can use. Remember, to lose weight, to lose body fat, you must be in a caloric deficit, which means if I use 3,000 calories doing what I do every day, living and breathing and walking and talking and exercise, and I eat 3,000 calories, my weight stays the same. That's my maintenance. If I consume more calories than that, that's called a surplus. I'm going to gain weight. If I eat less calories than what I burn, that's called a deficit, which means that the deficit has to be burnt up by using stored body fat. So we've got to create some sort of caloric deficit in order to burn fat. Fat is just calories. 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories. So we have to burn calories to reduce body fat. So we've got 3 ways in which we can restrict calorie consumption. Number 1 is to count the calories. So I'm only going to give myself an allocated amount of calories every day. It doesn't matter what time frame I eat it in. For example, breakfast could be at 8 a.m. and dinner could be at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. But I'm not going to overconsume this amount of calories. I can divide that into each meal or just watch it over the day. So calorie counting is a form of calorie restriction because you're counting the amount of calories. It's probably the most precise form, but you don't really have any consistency. It's a long eating window. For me, I don't like that because my problem is big portions and I find it hard to cut the portions down to the size that I'm supposed to make sure I hit my calorie target. Right, then there's intermittent fasting. Fasting or time restriction. If we have a restriction on the time in which we can eat, then we're not counting the calories because we can just assume because the eating window is short. For example, I only have 4 hours or 6 hours to consume calories. The likelihood of overconsumption every day reduces. So I am reducing the amount of calories I'm taking in by restricting the amount of time in which I eat. Does that make sense? Then we have dietary restriction, for example, keto. So if I remove all my carbohydrates, right, I can assume that I'm in a calorie deficit because carbohydrates usually make up about 75% of my diet. So if I remove carbohydrates and I only eat protein and fats, the assumption is, and more likely than not, is that I am reducing calories. So I'm in a calorie deficit. Now, with intermittent fasting, you actually can overconsume calories and get fat. With keto, you can still overconsume calories and get fat. There's no magic sort of potion to either of the 3 ways, but they're just ways for an individual to find the one that they're most likely to stick to and adhere to over a long period of time. So for me, intermittent fasting works well. I don't count calories. I couldn't be arsed with it. I'm patient. My meals are infrequent. Izzy makes the dinner every night, which is different every night, so I don't know what it's going to be. So I don't have the ability to count it. Now I can probably eat the same food every single day. And I allow myself a 4-hour eating window. And because I'm working, there's only so many calories I can eat. I know this works because I lose weight when I do it. I don't have to count calories, but I am obviously in a calorie deficit because I have restricted the time frame in which I can eat. So I don't have to count the calories because the chances are I can't overconsume them. Now for some people, even in a 4-hour window, can still overconsume calories. Now, whether they can do this on an everyday basis every single day of the week, I don't know, but some people probably can. For those people, which is not what we're doing, you may probably want to count calories as well. But not because you're trying to get those calories in, because we're just automatically assuming we're in a calorie deficit. Does that make sense? We'll go into this later in the week. Dietary restriction is the same. We remove carbohydrates and we assume because we've removed them all that we're limited to just protein and fats, that we're more likely going to be in a calorie deficit. Now, some people love counting calories. Some people, like myself, just like fasting. I also did keto for about 10 years. It's very, very restrictive. It didn't fit my lifestyle now, having kids and having a family. It did back then, but it didn't really bother me. So it's about which one works for you. They all do the same thing. They're all a form of calorie restriction. Calorie counting is a wee bit more precise, but you're really then stuck to a number. All right, that's the difference. So we wake up in the morning, we have a hydration drink, nothing but coffee and water. Don't try and come up, please stop trying to come up with some elaborate thing that you can tick. No, coffee, black tea, black coffee, water. Leave it at that. Right? None of this, can I have this, and if I do this, and if I sprinkle magic potion over this something else, maybe I might be able to do that. No, just stop. You're fasting. It's called fasting because you're fasting or abstaining from ticking things. No, nothing. Water, black tea, black coffee. Some green teas, but some green teas with herbal teas have all wee other sweeteners on them. So just go for black tea, black coffee, or water. No, not fucking dilute. Right? Again, you're not 5. Just drink the water. Right? If you find that you're getting tired, if you're getting hungry, it's because you're dehydrated. Add an extra wee sprinkle of salt in and knock that back. Now, when we do eat, just try and eat healthy, right? It's not about not eating what you normally have the same dinner that you're going to have with a family, right? Open your first meal. For example, breakfast means breaking a fast. My breakfast, no matter what time of day it is, if it's a Saturday, Sunday, 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the evening, it's always eggs. I have 5 eggs and avocado. That's the way I eat my first meal. Always is, always will be. I have a protein shake in between, as I mix the dinner. I have Greek yogurt at night after that with a couple of blueberries and strawberries. I do that when I'm fasting. I do it when I'm not fasting. So it's about you finding the way it works for you. Fruit, vegetables, just be healthy. If you find that you're someone who really is just gorging and you're over consuming, count calories. But it's not supposed to be the objective of this. This is supposed to be a form of calorie restriction that's not counting calories. Does that make sense? Good. So that's what we need for tomorrow. If you have any questions, please post them up. Please don't hesitate to ask. Please contact me directly. I am trying to get it sorted that we can add in some form of exercise, but it's the time and the studio that I was looking for is being used, so I'll get back to you on that. All right, I'm still up in the air with it, but we're working on it. Any questions? Let me know. Good luck tomorrow.